How to stop being a people pleaser but make a difference. Today, I want to make the subject of how can you change yourself, your life in a different way from being hurt or even from your entire life. As most of the time, being a people pleaser hurt us or even change us into something that we are not or that we should never have been. So how can you change yourself or change your life in a way to make it or to see it in a good perspective of your own? So from this, I will break down and help you see how can you make the difference for yourself or even for others, because the difference that you have for yourself can bring a change for somebody else also. So from Galatians 5 to verse 22-23 says that the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Why do I use it from making this subject? So, as you already know, we as humans have the tendency to not really see or understand in a way that we don't really see the good part of it, or how can we change it in a different type of ways. So from this, being a people pleaser can be different for each person. Some people, from doing it over and over time, because having a good heart is something beautiful. And from some people, when they have that good heart and that other person who went and hurt them, from those person, they change totally, became somebody different, or even worse, somebody that they shouldn't be. So as I said before, it depends of the situations of that person. So for one of the example that I will put out is, example, if you have a friend that you care a lot about and you always with your whole heart, you always do great things or even do the things that you could ever imagine for that person, because how much you care for that person, how much you see that person, and how much that you want to make a difference for that person, right? So you're adding value into that person, but in a way that person doesn't do the same things for you. So in this type of thing, that person could have hurt you or even could have done something against you that you will never thought of, or maybe from your own mind, the way that things have happened, the way that you have seen it, made it a change because of the situations that you are in or that you have been in. So even that happened, it doesn't mean that you have to change to be a bad person. Why do I say that? From you changing, you're hurting your own self. You're making it worse for you. But the point of it is, how can you make a change and add value for yourself or even for that person? It could happen that person accepts it, but doesn't really do something for them, or it does. Or it could happen that person doesn't accept it, but it still make a change for you because you, in a way of your life, you have found and have learned and grown into somebody more better than you were before. So when you have to make yourself better than you were before, it doesn't mean that you have to be in a position to place yourself as somebody that you were never meant to be. As making yourself selfish or being prideful or hurting that other person because that person have done the same things against you. One totally mistakes that most of us do is the misunderstanding of the situations that we are in. So do not forget that in Ephesians 6 verse 12, it says that we do not go against flesh and blood, but against every principalities, against every single things that the enemy from the real world. So as a part of it, as you may know, some people do it with all of their consent, or some they don't know. It just happened, and if you may understand into this situation that I will bring about one day, that I will talk about, that you may understand from that passage from Ephesians 6. So as you are into this situation, right? So you wanna make yourself better, but do not go and change to make yourself more in a different type of person that you're not supposed to be. Because what you have in you from before, has being kind, as being somebody great who cares for others. Do not let a situation put you out of who you are from before, but let that situation make you someone better than you were before. Because as you may grow into a different type of perspective of your life, you may find something even more better than you could ever imagine. Entirely, there are multitude of things that can bring a lesson to somebody else, or something bigger or better to somebody else. As if that person hurt you, if that person hurt you in a way that you couldn't even imagine or even think of, and from everything that you have done to that person, and you saw, oh my God, I couldn't even imagine how much that person have hurt me, do not let that pain transform you into somebody that you are not. Do not let that pain make you into someone that you should never have been. Because what you have overcome today will determine your tomorrow. What you are today will determine your tomorrow, from what you want to be to in the future. So if you have that light inside of you, do not let it bring into darkness. Do not let it be covered. Have you ever seen when it's raining outside and there is cloud all over? It's dark, right? But what can you see still? Because there is the sun is still here. The thing is that you may have darkness into your heart, but that light is still here, is always there inside of you. No matter how little it is, no matter how much it looks like as a grain, a seed of a grain of a seed, you can still make it more brighter, more bigger. If that person doesn't have value into you, just move on. But do not let it bring you into someone that you're not. As you are changing for yourself, is what you're showing to that person. Because if that person hurt you in a way, in a space that you couldn't even imagine, and you let that change bring you into someone that you shouldn't be, it will not do anything to that person, but to you, it will destroy you. But if you do said, okay, I know he happened this way or that way. I know it shouldn't have never been that way or this way. But I will not let that pain bring me into someone that I am not. But I will walk into the better space for maybe if that person doesn't deserve it, or that person never really bring that things that you needed, someone else will find it. And you never know that person that will find that you will give something new. Maybe before it happened the same to that person. It happened the same. There was the same things, that heartbreak, that challenge that have been to that person, that you yourself could have made a change. Because what you are bringing can make a difference to somebody else. So let's say that if you, from before, you have that pain, or yourself have completely been changed, totally, overly, and you found someone else, and that person that you never thought of will completely change your life, completely change every single thing that you could ever thought of. From this point forward, there is something who will shift in you and make it even more different than you could even see for yourself. As I will read another passage from 1 Peter 5 verse 2 8. Yes, let's say 8. To the elders among you, I appeal as a fellow elder and a witness of Christ's suffering, who also will share in the glory to be revealed. Be shepherds of God's flock that is under your care, watching over them, not because you must, but because you are willing, as God wants you to be, not pursuing dishonest gain, but eager to serve. Eager to serve. Not lording it over those entrusted to you, but being example to the flock. And when the shepherd appears, you will receive the crown of glory that will never fade away. Verse 5 says, in the same way, you who are younger, submit yourself to your elders. All of you, clothe yourself with humility toward one another, because God opposes the proud but shows favor to the humble. Humble yourself, therefore, under God's mighty hand, that He may lift you up in a due time. Cast all of your anxiety on Him, because He cares for you. Verse 8 says, be alert and sober mind. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion, looking for someone to devour. Resist him, standing firm in the faith, because you know that the family of believers throughout the world is undergoing the same kind of suffering. Not only that, in this passage, it shows you, no matter what happened, make yourself humble to others. Do not let yourself be changed because of a circumstances who have hurt, break you. Yes, God can change you, can heal you. It can heal you in a matter way that you never think. At the same time, the thing that I like about God is that when He heals you, He made a way where you will never think of. It's like that pain never existed before. Never existed before. And when you found peace into Him, and that grace and that glory that pours on into His people, let's say into His people, yes, and it bring His salvation, He bring his way into you, on feeling that thing that you will never thought or see. So as a fact, the things is not about not pleasing, but about being humble to others. You don't have to say yes to everything. It's a matter that you can say no. But how can you still do the good things for you to elevate yourself in a humble, beautiful way, that you may serve God and that others may see you as God's children, and they will say, yes, That's God's children. And even you who doesn't know God, even you doesn't know God, there is that type of thing that you can change inside of you. Because God, even if you doesn't know him, God is already there. Your soul knows what is missing. Your soul knows what can be changed, can be changed into your life. Because when you made a change of not pursuing to be badly into someone that you are not, there you are letting the Holy Spirit, God himself, come and shift you into something new, something bigger, something more wonderful that you could ever known or seen. Because if you are watching me right now, it's because you want to know or even found something, or even you are saying to yourself, maybe there is something that I can find here, that I can pursue here, that can help me or shift me. From this, we had the devil. The devil prowled around like a roaring lion, looking for someone to devour. When he said it in the passage, is because devouring is destroying. It destroys you in a way that you will go so down into yourself that you will be lost, completely, totally lost. But do not forget, you got a God. You got a God that you maybe doesn't even think of, but you know inside of you, you are looking for it. You know inside of you there is something even much more greater that you are missing. There is something even much more bigger that you never could have thought of or even seen. You are God's creation, and God have made you of his own for his glory to be seen throughout his people. So how can you change the outcome of what you are in and make a difference for it, for yourself, or even for someone that have been lost or even been looking for it for a long time that you will ever think of? So that's what is called also the to respect others in a humble way. Yes, that person may not even seen it still. That person may still be the same person that they were before you from the last time that person have hurt you. But do not forget, do not let that part of your life be the same circumstance that you are in. Because as if you're a parent, what are you teaching your children? As if you are young like I am, what can you teach yourself for your future of a better way for you? If you are a child, there is much more for you to grow and learn and know. There is something that maybe if I don't understand it right now, I will, because that part of me will be able to bring bigger things for me in my future. So look at throughout your life and see from all of the videos that you have watched and things like that, maybe is not what you were expecting for or even what you're thinking of. But in a matter of a way, letting that pain come into you, you begin to be selfish. Selfishness is not a way for you to grow. If you don't really understand the way of selfishness, it will bring you into that big misunderstanding. Because I tried before and it's not the way that I want it. I've seen it before. It's not the way that I thought of. So you being who you are in a way that you need to find happiness. You need happiness. You want happiness, right? You are looking for that. So if you are looking for that, you need to have the fruit of the Spirit. Is His love, joy, and all the good things that God is offering. Because in your life entirely, what God wants is the best things for you, is the best way for you, is the best opening things that you could even ever imagine for you, your whole self. Do not forget one thing. Your entire life is not about you. It's about God. God's glory into your life. For you to be who He called you to be in a matter of a way that you will ever think of. So, as you can see it, be on it. Maybe you see me, you thought of how of success, right? So you can still use it as into your business. You can still use it into your life, because your entire life can be a success through the meaning of it, because it's not just for one people. But if you are a CEO working, right, what do you bring to the other people? Not everybody will understand you. Not everybody will see you as the way that they should be. But it's what is within you, and it's what show the truth from who they should see. Because your energy and what you bring is what they make value of. They see through. Because one little thing can change an entire life of somebody else. One little fact of can change somebody else entirely, without you knowing or even saying it or even understanding it. You don't need to understand it, but you need to do it right. But how can you do it right? Is to find it without yourself. Because I can tell you something, but if you do not put it as a way from how God do teach it, right? How God do teach it. So if you don't put it in that way, how will you find it? Because do not forget, the Bible is not like only a Christian book. No. The Bible is here. It's like a book that you are reading every single time. Like I read Ask and It Shall Be Given, Atomic Habit. I read all these books. At the same time, I found there is much more to understand into it. How can you live entirely your life, if you want to live entirely into God's perspective, you should look, read, and take your time to understand what God wanna bring to you. Because not just one word. I can use those words to make it has my own perspective. But what is God's perspective? I can bring those words to said, there is that thing as I'm telling you about pleasing others and how to change it, right? That word from the fruit of the Spirit can be used in a different type of way, in a different type of situation. As that word from 1 Peter of being humble, of serving others, of saying the truth about yourself, of how can you make it better in a different way for your own self. It can be used in a different type of way, in a different type of situation. Because one word from the Bible can shift every single thing. One word from God can shift every single thing. Not just only from one little lifetime, but more bigger than that. So as you may see, you are living your life as it should be. You are growing to succeed. You are growing to be in a way that you can show and bring something much more better for yourself and for others. Because what you learn can make a difference for somebody else. And what you become can make a difference to somebody else. Because why? If you have darkness into you, right? You can give darkness to somebody else too. You can hurt someone else in a way that you shouldn't be, or even you will regret tomorrow. But if you said, okay, somebody hurt me, right? So I'll take my time and say, if I have to get out of a situation that I shouldn't ever have been, or maybe something has changed, because do not forget, the enemy come like a round lion road, coming to devour, looking for his proles to devour, right? So one little thing that the enemy do can try to shift you into somebody that you are not, and from that, it's you who will change. That thing that happened from the situation, from the way that he have been, to something else. Because you are the only way. From, if you want God to work through you, let it happen. Let it happen. It can be in a different type of way and situation that you're in, but look at it as a lesson. Look at it as a growth. Look at it as a different type of way that a different type of way that you want to make a difference. If you want to make a difference, you're good to say, I am able to shift it. I am able to bring something bigger into something bigger and new into something old and broken. So that broken way of your whole life that have been not what you could have imagined, or even didn't happen for you at all. So you're learning now. You're learning for maybe if it does in a situation, because some people can hurt you like crazy. And if it happened, so something can shift. So better off you don't talk to that person anymore. Or God may use that person for you to see the thing that you have been missing, to see the greatest things, to see the greatest way of his own glory. Because everything that God do is for his own glory. He used all of his children, no matter how bad that person is, where that person come from, he used them in a way to shift you. And he can shift that person too, in a way they couldn't even understand. Because God do his things in his way, and in a beautiful type of way. So being a people pleaser, it's a thing that could not be a thing. Because let's say if you do not really understand it, you can be broken into it. But still having the good heart and still going into, even if there is pain, let's say that multiple time the same thing happened over and over again, and that pain, that rage, that anger, that culpability, that all those things that is inside of you, that where you said, no matter what I do, it's still the same thing. Why don't you ask you, what does God want me to see into it? Is there something that he want me to grow from? Is there a change that he want me to made from? Is there something that he want me to see from it? But that doesn't mean that you have to change yourself totally to be so badly and become like that other person, or even become more badly than you were before. Do not let a pain break you into someone that you're not, but do let that pain change you into somebody to be more better. But remove yourself from a situation, or see that situation in a different type of way of how can you bring, let's say if that person is really bad and you just get out of it, but do not let that pain break you into somebody else that you're not, from you to hurt someone else the same way that person have done to you. But make yourself better to help someone that maybe will come to you, you never know, and will know about your story, and you will be able to help that person in a different type of way. But if that person that you have been into and have hurt you, right? But if you see that you can change and bring a difference to that person, do it. But if not, you can pray for that person. And if that person do accept, you'll change. But if not, I don't know. Maybe not. But God can still use that person in either way. But at the same time, no matter what situation that you're in right now, or maybe that you were before, or maybe that you never have been, or maybe you will be, or maybe you will never be, it depends, but you still learning something from it. So from that situation, let's upgrade yourself for the better. Let's make a difference and add value for the better. Maybe if it's not for that person, but let it be for you. Let God change you. Let God bring you the thing that you could ever have for, because you can feel it, you can sense it inside of you. There's something better, there's something bigger than that. Can you feel it? You do. It's why you have a soul. You have a soul, you have feelings, you have feelings. But don't let your heart be hardened, because a beautiful heart can bring healing into someone else's hurt. A beautiful love can bring love into somebody else's pain. A beautiful way of being humble can open doors that you could ever think or imagine of. So let's upgrade, make the difference, add value into something that you could ever think or imagine. Let's make it in a way that you will show there is something much more better than this, and you can find it inside of you. Do not lose hope. Do not lose hope on something that you can do. Do not lose hope on who you are as being great, even if it hurt you before and your heart have changed. Do not lose hope of being better than that, because there is better within you. Do not let the enemy put lies into your mind that is not what God made you to be. But if you don't know, you can ask God, what is the thing that you want to show me, or you wanted to make or even change into my life that I couldn't see? But now as I'm coming into you, shift me in a way that I may see the enemy lies into my life, but I may be able, open my mind to be able to see clearly, and you will do it. But if you never have done it, or even if you are new to this channel, as you're new into God, or even you don't know God at all, there is something bigger for you. There is something more bigger for you. Because even if you cannot add value to someone that you think of, or maybe you can change and shift it into something better, because maybe that person will receive that same value and find something bigger and greater than that. Or even that you can change someone else you never thought will need it, and found that bigger things that you never thought of. So be that bigger things, that bigger self of your life. No matter what you are doing, even if it's businesses, even if it's your life privately, no matter what, if that person is abusive, you can still get out of it. But do not let that harden your heart and make you think and be a person, or even make you think about lies, because not everybody is the same. Someone can hurt you on one time, but that doesn't mean that from you closing your heart to someone else because you are afraid that the same pain will come. Give that other person that change, that little to see before. Make yourself see. Make yourself seen in a way that you may see something that you never thought of into someone else. Or maybe God can use that same person who abused you to make his glory known. That same person can shift totally by prayers. Prayers are the outcome of many change, many greater things that you could ever even imagine or think. But as for instance, see it for yourself. Make it happen. Think about it. Maybe you can take it as a note, write it down, papers, and see how can I think and change it for the better and make it happen for the greater. Because what is within you, it was determine your outcome of your whole life. What you bring can change somebody else. So even though it will always be a lesson or even a change for you or someone else too, it will be, it'll always be. So let's make a difference from it and see it for the better. I hope that it helped you into a way that you could even think or imagine for. And from far beyond it, we will see soon. I'll see you soon. And if you're new to that channel, subscribe and like and leave your comment, Terry, that I may see what you think about it. And maybe from what you said will help me to understand and even think about it and even bring the subject back to be able to calculate it. But let's do it as God's mouth, not our own, but God's mouth, because all the glory is for God Almighty. Hallelujah. So yeah, let it be like this. So I'll see you.